the reality here, Trump delivers MAGA. MAGA delivers victories. This was a turnout issue about MAGA, and the reason is the Jeff Rose of the world and the billionaire donors with the hapless, feckless RNC failed to get our people out. End of story.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here. And on the morning after one of the most embarrassing election night performances, Steve Bannon had a volcanic meltdown on the set of War Room. It was an absolute hissy fit. They're
whining last night in the Senate. Oh, it's the redistricting. You lost the redistricting. Stand up and fight on the redistricting. I want to hear the sob stories out of Virginia this morning. Oh, it's the redistricting. Of course. And what did you guys do? Did you fight? No, you did one of these bipartisan commissions. You know why? Because you're all pencil necks. This is what a red vest gets you. Don't come here this morning and start whining about abortion. Stand up and do your job. Get in the trenches and fight. You bunch of feckless, hapless, and this super PACs and Jeff Rowe delivers another crushing defeat.
Bannon was enraged because Republican candidates across the country lost huge in their attempts to hijack state houses and legislatures. The bid to strip women's rights away failed miserably. GOP candidates were handed stinging losses across several states. Democrats won numerous seats on local school boards as well. GOP losses included an abortion referendum in Ohio, the Kentucky governor's race, and the Virginia Senate. Voters came out in force and turned the red wave into a couple of drips. Right-wing nut jobs had been hyping up the candidates that were running to strip women's reproductive health care away. Bannon and others like him in the media have been melting down as a result of the humiliating losses.
I hope the fat cat billionaires down at the Cavalier Hotel, I could rub your noses in this every second of every day for a week. You brought this on. And your fantasy all about stopping Trump. Youngkin and what remains of the Keebler elves on their best day could not deliver 74 million votes, and 74 million votes won the 2020 election. You can see the polling right now. There's no 81 million votes. Spare me. I don't have time for nonsense.
Slimy Steve tried to blame the RNC for not getting Republicans out to vote. What Bannon is trying to establish is that there was a system failure with the losses. He can't admit that he's once again on the losing side. Bannon can't accept the possibility that Republican voters are sick and tired of their own party. GOP voters are throwing Trump-backed candidates under the bus quicker than Ivanka flipped in court. It's not a huge surprise that voters around the country rejected MAGA. The Republicans have proven that they are still tied into Donald Trump and are loyal to him instead of their own constituents. Voters around the country gave the GOP a preview of what 2024 is going to be like for them. An entire generation will be of voting age in 2024, and they are not supporting Republican policies.
And by the way, there has to be massive changes to RNC today. These clowns down there in Miami putting on this phony debate and sucking up more money and more opportunity costs away from Trump, and what we ought to be focused on a ground game to get the vote out and to make sure that election fraud, that we're getting all the fraud. Everybody said, oh, gosh, they turned over the Senate and the House to Virginia. We're not going to get any election integrity. Will you please spare me? You think the people that didn't fight on redistricting are going to sit there and fight on election integrity? Spare me. I don't want to hear the establishment whining. You should have taken your money out and just burned it in the front yard. You didn't even have the common decency to reach out to Trump, to MAGA, to anybody, and you get exactly what you deserve.
The truth is that the majority of Americans don't agree with the GOP's archaic plans to regulate a woman's body. The overturning of Roe v. Wade is still fresh in the minds of voters, and women across this country do not want to be set back 50 years. Folks came out and voted like their daughter's future depended on it, and it did. The voice of the people was heard. Voters overwhelmingly rejected MAGA and their Christian nationalist candidates. Bannon and the right-wing media see the situation not as it is, but how they want it to be. Steve Bannon is okay with a society where women's bodies are regulated by uptight old white men who have skeletons in their own closets. The country is rejecting Christian nationalists at the polls. The vast amount of voters do not want Christo-fascist dictators running their healthcare decisions. These jackalums don't belong in the State House or on school boards. Slimy Steve Bannon can melt down all he wants. All of his bellyaching is a waste of time. There's nothing American about MAGA, and voters across this country just handed the Republicans another stinging loss. Keep it up, America. Vote blue and keep making conservative heads explode. Tuesday's election sent shockwaves throughout the entire Trump world. The GOP hasn't offered anything other than chaos and a circus-like atmosphere since they took over the House. It's going on 2 years and they still haven't done anything for the American people. Let's finish the job and vote them all out in 2024. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.